Welcome back to the Community Corner podcast, where we explore the companies in the S500 through the lens of behavioral finance. I'm Arnav.
And I'm Nikhil. Today, we're focusing on Chevron Corporation, one of the world's largest energy companies, known for its extensive oil and gas operations and growing investments in alternative energy. We'll be discussing how behavioral finance impacts their decision-making, diversity and inclusion efforts, adaptation to different markets, and how they compare to other companies in the industry. Let's dive in.
Chevron has a long history in the oil and gas industry, but from a behavioral finance perspective, how do biases like status quo bias and the sunk cost fallacy influence their decision-making, especially in areas like energy investments and environmental sustainability?
Status quo bias is highly relevant to Chevron's approach, particularly in its continued focus on oil and gas production. The company's deep roots in traditional energy markets create a strong preference for maintaining existing operations and investments, even as the global energy landscape shifts towards renewables. This bias can make Chevron more cautious about transitioning to alternative energy sources, as it favors the stability and predictability of its established business model. The sunk cost fallacy also plays a significant role. Chevron has invested billions in oil and gas infrastructure.
And this focus on traditional energy sources has made Chevron a reliable performer in the oil market, appealing to investors who prioritize stability and dividends. But it also raises questions about the company's long-term adaptability in a changing energy landscape.
Exactly. Chevron's commitment to its core oil and gas operations appeals to investors looking for consistent returns, especially in an industry that has historically been profitable. However, this approach also means that Chevron must carefully balance its investments in fossil fuels with the growing demand for cleaner energy solutions, which is crucial for long-term sustainability.
Let's talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion at Chevron. The energy industry has traditionally been male-dominated, but there's been a push for greater diversity. How does this intersect with behavioral finance?
Chevron's approach to DEI is increasingly important, particularly as the energy industry evolves and faces greater scrutiny over corporate practices. From a behavioral finance perspective, strong DEI initiatives can help Chevron foster a more inclusive corporate culture, which can lead to better decision-making and innovation. A diverse workforce can bring different perspectives to complex challenges such as navigating the transition to alternative energy or addressing environmental concerns. For investors, Chevron's commitment to DEI can signal that the company is taking steps to modernize it.
Investors are increasingly factoring DEI into their decision-making, and for a company like Chevron, strong DEI practices can also help them attract top talent and foster innovation, which is critical for adapting to future energy challenges.
That's right. By embedding DEI into their corporate culture, Chevron not only improves its ability to address complex global challenges but also strengthens its market position and attractiveness to socially conscious investors.
Moving on to global markets, Chevron operates in more than 180 countries, making it a truly global player in the energy industry. How does the company adapt to different markets, and what role does behavioral finance play in this?
Chevron's global strategy involves a deep understanding of local market dynamics, regulatory environments, and geopolitical factors. From a behavioral finance perspective, this adaptability is crucial for managing the risks associated with operating in diverse regions. Chevron's ability to navigate complex regulatory landscapes such as environmental regulations in developed markets or political instability in emerging markets allows it to maintain a strong global presence. This approach helps Chevron manage the risks associated with global operations while capitalizing on opportunities in it.
And this adaptability is essential for Chevron, especially as they face competition from both traditional energy companies and new entrants in the renewable space. Their ability to maintain their brand's trust and relevance in various markets is key to their continued success.
Exactly. Chevron's focus on understanding local market dynamics and adapting its strategies accordingly allows them to remain a dominant player in the energy industry while staying ahead of emerging trends and challenges. However, this also requires them to be proactive in responding to changes in global energy policies and consumer preferences.
Now, let's compare Chevron to other companies in the energy industry like ExxonMobil, BP, and Shell. How do the behavioral finance dynamics differ?
Chevron's dynamics are often compared to other energy giants like ExxonMobil, BP, and Shell, particularly in their approach to fossil fuels versus renewable energy. Chevron and ExxonMobil have both been more conservative in their transition to renewables, maintaining a strong focus on traditional energy sources, which appeals to investors looking for stability and dividends. BP and Shell, on the other hand, have been more aggressive in their investments in renewable energy, appealing to investors interested in companies that are positioning themselves for a lower carbon future. Behavioral finance.
And unlike BP and Shell, which have made more aggressive moves into renewable energy, Chevron's more cautious approach may appeal to investors who believe in the ongoing importance of fossil fuels but also acknowledge the need for a measured transition.
Absolutely. Each of these companies has its own behavioral finance dynamics that influence how investors perceive their value and potential risks. For Chevron, the focus on traditional energy sources combined with a cautious approach to diversification provides a unique value proposition in the energy industry.
To sum up, Chevron's approach to business is deeply influenced by behavioral finance principles, whether it's through their investment strategies, global market adaptations, or their approach to DEI. But like all companies, they are still subject to the biases and perceptions that can influence investor behavior.
That's right. Understanding these dynamics provides a clearer picture of what drives Chevron's stock price and where the potential risks and rewards lie.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Community Corner podcast. Until next time, I'm Arnav.
And I'm Nikhil. Stay curious and keep questioning the narratives.